And if you won't give me 1 minute till I convince you I am that confident.
It's just a regular night. Me, I'm just chilling on my phone, like I'm just buzzed. But then like I get a text from Wiz, and it's on. I had to go check the page. Like, are you crazy? I had to go check the page. It's like, yo, bro, studio tomorrow. I was like, Wiz? Like the message I even texted it was so out of excitement. I was like, if I no come make I die.
Like I'm gonna be there.
I'm gonna be there. But
One of the things that is unique about you is your tone, your sound. Personally, I don't think I've heard anybody sound like you. Did you hear anybody that sounded like you, or who specifically, in terms of like, did you have any vocal training, or is this just the natural way Buju sounded when you sang? Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on, man? This is the Afrobeats podcast special. We had to go look for this guy because I know he couldn't come to the studio. My brother wakes up so freaking late. It's ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, is the amazing Buju.
yo, I'm with the big shopsy. We outside.
Listen, bro, you've had an amazing 2021. And listen, before we go into that 2021, I really want to get to learn about your story. Talk me through your journey. I know you use social media a lot, Twitter. What was the beginnings of Buju?
So basically, like, I was this kid that just necessarily, enjoyed every element of what music was bringing. Maybe because like my dad used to play a lot of the bands, Olumentin, Bob Marley, Lucky Dube. I had a very great foundation, like musically, and then like joining the school choir, basically just singing. I started like writing rhymes at like 11 because at the time I enjoyed what rap was like. You feel me? What hip hop was all about. So, like I said, just basically grooming myself like in the music space was technically all that I enjoyed at the time as a kid. So, imagine having that love for music at such a tender age. And even when I got into university, I even stopped doing like basic music stuff.
Where did you study?
I was studying Babcock University, and from high school, like I was doing school choir, like valedictory services, performances. It was wild. So, stopping in uni was because I needed to focus like proper. And then like 300 level was when like I proper picked it up again because, I was doing like IT at the time. And so like I started listening to like, I used to listen to a lot of Burna Boy because like he was fresh. He gave me some zeal, like, oh, what kind of music is this? And I could actually kind of make this kind of music. So, I started listening to like Burna, J Horse, Buju Banton a lot.
That explains the name, right?
Yeah, Buju is also Buju means breadfruit in like native Jamaican.
Wow.
It's like a nickname given to like chubby people. So, yeah, man. So Buju Banton, his mom used to call him Buju because when he was younger, he was a lot chubby. So, it was an amazing thing but then I now wrote it into like a poem called Beauty Underneath Just Understood. So it had a more deeper meaning to me because aside it meaning, oh, chubby guy, it's also like I found something that was unique about my sound and I thought it was beautiful and it could change my life, you feel me? So yeah, I started recording like professionally like and dropping music out in like 2018. So, and I was getting like a little buzz, thereabout, just trying to build like a proper fan base because I was dropping music on SoundCloud and, trying to, at the time, even shout out to the Hotel guys because a lot of time they were the ones that pushed us to, oh, you know what, you could actually make music and actually just put it out, even if it's not on some, or you don't blow type of.
So they gave you that inspiration to try it and do it yourself.
And so like, yeah, because it's like, right, these guys are like my age mates and how come they have music out? Because, and then the SoundCloud community was kind of strong in Nigeria because we were trying to listen. You feel me? Because everybody was like, okay, what's new? Feel me? And then like it started evolving. Like 2019, I made a deliberate effort to go out on the ocean with my friends, and I was singing. You feel me? So my friend took a little video of me like singing while I was on the canoe, you know, and we're in Morocco. It's like a riverine area, so that was I think was the first breaking point for me because it's like when he took that video and he put it up, and people are like, oh, who's this guy? And that was Commander. I was singing Commander, and then like everybody was like, okay, you need to drop this song. So I put out Commander at the time, and it was a nice buzz because everybody's like, okay, rah, this is some guy that can sing, you know. And then later on, I also and I realized like, oh, there was a little power. There was power in social media, like to a large extent, whereby people could actually listen to you, and I tapped into that, and then like I started putting out like snippets a lot, and I put out one snippet, and I'm like, oh, I really love a verse from Zlatan, and he actually jumped on it like 3 weeks later, and that was what really skyrocketed my career. Cause
Listen. One of the things that is unique about you is your tone, your sound. Personally, I don't think I've heard anybody sound like you. Did you hear anybody that sounded like you, or who specifically, in terms of like, did you have any vocal training, or is this just the natural way Buju sounded when you sang?
to be honest, this is just me, undiluted. You feel me? It's like what drives me is the zeal to be unique in whatever I'm doing. It's like these days, like I said earlier on, I used to listen to a lot of Burna Boy. If you know what Burna Boy was to me at the time of like 2013, 2012, 2014, 2015, 2016, he was like a breath of fresh air for me. He took lyricism very seriously. He took storytelling to a whole nother level, and that was what I was trying to do. You feel me? And like I said, I was also listening to a whole lot of J Hus because he had depth. You feel me? He was someone that could make me relate to an environment I'd never been in. You feel me? Like if you could take me somewhere there without me not even being there. You feel me? I needed to be able to make that sort of impression too with music. So that's why when I started making music, I started taking it very seriously. It's why till now I don't really freestyle. I can't say I freestyle. I write a lot more. Yeah, you feel me? Because I feel like it's stronger when it has meaning. You feel me? So that's me. That's my power. That's my uniqueness.
You speak about Burna Boy, and it's obvious how important and influential Burna Boy has been to you. How did you get the call that he was going to jump on your remix, and what was that moment like for you to actually team up with Burna Boy?
It was wild because like this was like 2019 December. Burna had such an amazing year, bro. Like, coming off the Grammy nomination and everything. But what blew my mind was the fact that at the time they were looking for me, but I couldn't. My phone was bad at the time. It's just throwing you back to 2019, so you understand how it was then. So it's like
How things were low.
yeah, man. It's like my phone was bad, so it's like important people were trying to reach me, and I couldn't necessarily like access it because for some reason the screen was blank. So like someone would call me, I'm like, why are you calling me, man? Till I fix my phone, I don't necessarily want to pick, but all this time it was Burna's team. So so it was, I think. When I fixed my phone eventually, I got a text like, "Yo, I've been trying to reach you. Burna is trying to talk to you." And so I called. I thought it was a prank. You feel me? Because it's like, bruh, Burna Boy, really? You don't?
When he was inflamed.
So like, bro. And so he called me, and then he says the same. This number called me and says the same thing. It's like, I've been trying to reach you. And it's like, bro, please. And I tell him, bro, please stop playing with me. It's like, bro, I'm not playing with you. Like, I'm going to give you an address, and I need you to take this as seriously as possible. So yeah, and he sent me the address, and I was like, okay. So we got to the address, and I got into the apartment, and then I actually like Burna came out like on the towel, and he was like, "Where's Buju?" And then he saw me, and he's like, "Bruh, you sang Lenu." I was like, yeah. It's like, that song makes me feel like I'm floating, man. I heard it in the club, and I had to tell them that they should play it
quick message from Alat NG. I'm joined by Fumilayo from Alat, of course, NG from Wema Bank. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
We're here to speak about the app, the banking app, Alat.ng.
Yes.
Please speak to me. First of all, what is this banking app?
So it is a bank.
Great.
Not just an app, it is a bank. And essentially what it does is it allows you to do any banking transaction from the comfort of your phone.
Wow.
What is interesting is that you even sign up right there from your phone. You don't have to go to any banking hall to do anything. So you upload your picture, your signature, everything you do from the comfort of wherever you are. And it takes just 5 minutes.
Now, a lot of us in diaspora want to have banks in Nigeria, bank accounts in Nigeria. And one of the biggest problems we've faced, or the challenges we face, is this is the VPN number, how do we cross that hurdle?
Awesome. So what we've done, and if you go to our site, alert.ng, we have a list of agents in the UK here where you can go to and register for your BVN. And interestingly, we've added on the NIN. Right now, you need the NIN to do everything in Nigeria. So once you do that, it's possible.
Again, like 3 times. You feel me? It was wild. Because,
What does that do to you?
bro, it was different because in the first instance, I'm floating in some sense because it's like, this is Burna Boy, and like I'm not forcing my music on him. I'm not having to play him anything, and he's saying this about my music. You know, it put me in a whole different space because it's like I'm chasing you. You feel me? And then you actually acknowledge what I'm doing, which is now wild. So you know, he now goes into the conversation of, yo, okay, you know what? Play me some shit. So I start playing Burna music, and he's like, I'm signing you. So
Wow.
yeah, it was wild. Just, the first, I'm thinking, it's like, how? You know, because he's like I hear so much potential. So what exactly do you want to do? Do you want me to hop on the remix? Or do you want us to make more music? I was like, bro, anything you want us to do. He was like, you know what? Let's first start with the remix. And then he hops on Lenu, pays for the video. That day, you know, he's like, I'm going to call TJ Omari. So it was, my life moved like, so everything just flashed.
The funny thing is, I've got like a family member of yours here that always used to speak to me about you. In 2019, my brother, So every moment from the song to when you got to the remix, he always kept me abreast. He is just excited as you were. You joined Burna's team. You've now moved on since then. You're doing your own thing. What have you learned from being a part of a team that has one of the biggest superstars in Afrobeats and a bona fide superstar in the world, a Grammy winner? What have you learned that you've taken on your own journey now?
Well, personally, like, I've learned the act of, you know, focus in some sense. Because for me, for a little story, it's like 2020, I didn't necessarily pull out music. 2020, I only put out like Lenu remix and then like So Lovely close to the end of the year. So like, let's say like I had like 9 months hiatus, which is very shaky for like an artist that is just coming up. But it's different when you're not looking at it like a chain, but you're looking at it like as an avenue to get better. It's like I say within that period, like my writing got better, like my storytelling was on another level. So if there was one thing I could understand from all that grooming was like when you finally find it, it will definitely last. You feel me? So you just have to be focused on whatever you're doing, because a lot of things could have distracted me. I could have been feeling like, oh, this is some career wrecking moment. But me, I was like, you know what? You're not going to hear from me now, but when you hear from me, I'll be fully ready. You feel me? So it's like when 2021 came, I was like, this is a no-brainer. Like, I feel like even if I don't need to do it on a label, I want to do it on my own, but I need the world to hear what I've been working on. You feel me? So even I want to have I went and had the conversation with Burna. I was like, bro, I feel like I want to do this on my own. And he was surprised. It's like, really? I was like, yeah. It's like, it's because I feel like I have so much to prove, and it's like, I will make you proud. And that's what I told Burna. And he's like, you know what? Do it. I got you. So I had everything in front of me. It was like almost starting afresh, but I was so ready for whatever was coming. You feel me? And so like I started working a lot more like I usually do. And so like I did work with Black Bones. I did the work with Ladipo.
Hit. Black Bones, hit. Ladipo, hit. Those were monster records that changed the
Yes,
game.
man. It was wild because it was April. April Black Bones dropped, and he went number one. It was wild because my name was on that song, and we went number one though. It was Black Bones, Amare, and Buju, and it's like, who are these new kids that just went number one now? Ladipo drops in May and goes number one too. So this is the hack. I have 2 songs on the top 5 as of May, and it's wild. Like, who's that Buju guy? And then I drop Outside. So now I have 3 songs on that top 5, and it was wild because when Burna came back to Nigeria, he was like, I'm proud of you. And I've not heard an I'm proud of you that made me feel something. Because it was crazy, because it just took me back to the conversation of me telling him, I'm going to make you proud. You feel me? So the effect of that mentorship was more on how strong you could prepare your mind. Like I was trained mentally. There's a lot of things that I had to undergo, like understand too, about the game itself, and everything generally. It's like you just have to be a better version of yourself before you put yourself out there. You feel me? It's one of the reasons why I even want to be a project guy now. It's like Burna told me, it's like, when you put out music, sometimes never forget, like, singles are more like trailers. So when you put out a project, it's more like a whole movie. You feel me? So you should never forget that there's a movie behind the whole trailer. You feel me?
That's a fantastic idea, man. Now, you had the hits with Bling, with Ladipo. You had your single. You dropped the project, and then you're in the studio with Wizkid.
Bro, that was the
Talk to me about that.
Cause, okay, so it was like in July. It's just a regular night. I'm just chilling on my phone, like I'm just buzzed. But then like I get a text from Wiz, and it's on. I had to go check the page. Like, are you crazy? I had to go check the page. It's like, yo, bro, studio tomorrow. I was like, Wiz? Like the message I even texted it was so out of excitement. I was like, if I don't come, make I die.
Like, I'm gonna be there.
I'm gonna be there. But I was like, bro, studio? Where, bro? If I don't come, like, don't worry, bro. It was mind blowing. So like when I got into the studio and Wiz was like, it's like, Buju, like, I love your music. It's like, Wizzy, you love my music? It was mind blowing. It's like, right. And then, we just start. He's like, let me play you some stuff. So we starts playing beats. Like, he's like, I came to the country to work on like a deluxe, and I was like, Wiz, whole deluxe, bro, because Made in Lagos was such an amazing project. It's like, rah, oh wow. It's like, don't worry, man. I feel like there's some sounds I still need to tap, and so that day we made like 4 songs. Like, we were just recording a lot, and then but Mood stuck out for Wiz. I don't know why, because it was like, I think when I left the studio that day, I think he got back to London and he texted me. He's like, yo, you see that song? You need to re-record it and send it to me. And even Wiz is one of the most patient people I've ever worked with, because it's like, him being in a rush to even prepare his project at the time. I told him like, oh, I needed to take some time off for my voice to get my voice back proper. And he was so cool with it. It's different when
Wizkid.
Bro, it was wild. I was like, that's a whole style. There's a lot of people that could take that differently. Like, or you don't want to do it or something. But he's like, oh, bro, take all the time you need, bro. Like, I just need you to get it right. And when I sent the version to him, he was super excited. It's like, we're going to mess this whole place up. You feel me? So I think he didn't play me his version till I got into London. Like, very surprising guy. He's like, pull up to the studio, I want to show you something. And he plays me his verse, and it was amazing because there and then in that room, like, I realized, like, I'm in the studio, I'm in the room with a legend. And it's different because music actually brought me here. Like, he's like, because I got into the same space with him, and he's somebody that tells me, oh, I love your music. Like, I am a fan of what you're doing. You feel me? It's why, like, we have such an extending relationship that, oh, anytime he's close by, oh, pull up, we should actually make music together. We should actually do something together.
And a lot of people on social media will be surprised because of all the social media noise that maybe you were disrespectful or whatever.
You know, at the time, like, I was also very patent about that because it's like a lot of people didn't understand, like, coming from a stage where I didn't even know I was gonna be a musician. You know, it's like I'm young, I have cheap data, and I'm just I'm just being silly. You feel me? So me, I'm having the wild time, but futuristically, I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna end up in one office or something. I'm gonna just work some random, but God turns me into a musician. So it's different when I now see people like criticizing me. It's like, what did I do? Oh, it's like, oh, so shit. It's like this though. You feel me? So it's like, it's a whole different thing. Like I said, like, it's how life sort of plays to teach you, you know, to actually make you, and that's how you grow, really. Because yeah, man.
Listen, you had what's going on? You need to go now. All right, man. We need to get him out of here. Don't worry. We'll go. Let's go. We need to go. We'll do it again. Big mood. Let's go.
Right.